Hello, it is New Year's Eve, the 31st of December, and inspired by Ross Jeffrey's video where he did like a shout out and a thank you to people that he had connected with, had inspired him, and just booktubers and publishers and people like that. I thought to myself, I'd like to do that too. Just off the top of my head, I've managed to fill 2 entire sheets of paper with people that I want to say thank you to for various reasons. So let's say grab a cup of coffee, a big cup of coffee, but I'll try to keep each one quite brief. Okay, so this is in no particular order. I just brain dumped these names down as I thought of people that have really inspired me, influenced me, supported me, helped me, and have become friends this year. So the very first person that I'm going to mention is Jill from Candisha Press. And not only was she the person that was my very first acceptance for Graveyard Smash, she has become one of my very best friends within the community. She is someone who is constantly encouraging me. She actually referred me to the 25 Gates of Hell book that Rookie put out, and the Know Your Enemy anthology by JEA, where I have another story, and she's always encouraging me and saying, I think you should write this, I think you should write that. I subbed something over to her volume 3, and I was like, can you just have a quick read of this, make sure I'm going in the right direction? And she was like, I want it, I love it. She's just so encouraging, and we are going to write something together next year, which is going to be amazing. Okay. The next person is my other best friend in the whole world, who is Lou Yardley. Lou is a phenomenal writer and person all on her own, but what we've managed to do together with Cryptids, Crypts and Coffee, completely stepping out of both of our comfort zones to do something like that, it's just been amazing. And from that, I've had other people reach out to me and ask me to do interviews with other stuff as well. So we will be continuing with Cryptids because we both absolutely love it. And the people that we've got to speak to on there, it's been amazing. And we have people all the time contacting us and saying, can we come on your podcast? And hopefully next year we will manage to get it onto one of the Podbean, iTunes, whatever, lose game. The next person that I would like to say thank you for everything that you do, and again someone who I can genuinely call a friend, is Sadie Hartman, Mother Horror, through allowing me to put things onto the Nightworms blog, inviting me to the Nightworms parties and things, referring me to part of the Scream magazine, so her, I and Donnie write over for Scream. That is such that, you know, this time last year, if I thought I was going to be a contributor to Scream magazine, absolutely blown away. She invited me to write a story for her Patreons, all sorts of things. She's always supporting me and shouting me out, and she's just a wonderful person. I'm fiercely loyal to her. I think that she is doing some amazing things for the whole of the horror community, for women in horror, for indie horror, and I think that she is going to just break the mold for small businesses and just be the highest flyer that she deserves to be. Next, I would like to thank Catherine McCarthy. She is another person who recommended me for something, which was Diabolica Botanica, and has supported me all the way through that. And so I'd also like to say thank you to Keith Baird for again embracing me as this brand new, I was like an eager puppy when we got involved with the Diabolica Botanica, and kind of calmed my nerves when I realised that like Adam Neville and Tim Levin and Ramsey Campbell were getting involved and all that kind of thing, and they just supported me and encouraged me, and actually that's ended up being one of my favourite stories. So thank you guys. Thank you so much to Cameron Chaney. Everybody knows that Cameron is a very good friend of mine. I absolutely adore him. He is a fantastic booktuber and supporter of all of the horror community, an amazing writer, and he's got lots of things his fingers in lots of pies for next year to do with autumn crow things as well, so we're going to see a lot more from him. But he has just been such an inspiration and an influence. He encourages me. He's just wonderful. Absolutely adore him. Another Cameron is Cameron Rabique, someone who I only got to know through Cameron Chaney. And he has been, again, a real inspiration. Just chatting with him, and then he sent me Kill River, which was just such an amazing book, and I've now got Golf Curse and Disco Death Trap as well, and it really reminded me how much I love slashers. And apart from Clown in the Cornfield, which is amazing, Adam Caesar, I hadn't read a slasher book for quite some time. And now I'm just like, I'm all in. I want to read slasher novels all the time, and I'm going to write one next year, which I'm so excited about. So excited about that next year. And next year's tomorrow, isn't it? So I can say that I'm writing it. Yeah, and to make it ever so slightly different, because well, you know, you think of slasher, you immediately think of Friday the 13th, Sleepaway Camp, all those kind of things. Anything that's set in a camping set in America, so I'm going to do mine set here in the UK, maybe on like the moors, Bodmin Moor, something like that, down in Devon, Dorset way, something like that, but in the 80s still, and it's going to be so fantastic. Moving on, I would like to say a huge thank you to my review bestie, Ben Long. Ben's just absolutely amazing, and sometimes I look at his Twitter and I just don't know why he hasn't got more followers, although he's got lots more over on Instagram. He is somebody that brought my spark back to reviewing, and now we've got so many plans to do buddy reads and reviews and interviews and podcasts and things together, and so Ben is just amazing. He also got me involved with Beyond the Veil, the latest review platform that I am now working with, and those guys over there, they're just brilliant. Beyond the Veil is going to be as big as some of the other things within our community, I think, before long. They've got some really, really tight visions and things that they want to do with their site. It's run uber professionally, and Ben actually is my editor now as well, so I have to make sure that I do the best reviews I possibly can, which is what we want, isn't it? Because by doing the best and tightest and most succinct reviews that will make people want to read the things that we're reviewing, that's helping the authors and the book sales and all that kind of thing. And so far I've done one for Dog Soldiers, my favourite film anyway. I've done one for Kill River, the Cameron Rabique book, and I've just submitted one for The Switch House from Tim Meyer. Tim's one of my favourite writers. So by Beyond the Veil tightening up my reviews, it's making those book sales come in, so that's amazing. Also over there is Andrew the Book Dad, and they of course are also Nightworms, so this is a huge shout out to everybody involved with Nightworms as well, and especially Alex. I absolutely adore Alex. He is so amazing and wonderful, and his reviews and his TikToks and things just always brighten my day, make me laugh. His photos are just on point. Just absolutely adore Alex. That leads me into saying a big thank you to all of my Patreons. If I was making this video last year, and I don't know why it would have been, but if I was, and I said my patrons, I would have thought I was dreaming. Who on earth would be supporting me? Who on earth would want to be reading stuff that I'm putting out and spending their hard-earned cash in this world by giving me $1 or so a month to help my journey? It's just, it blows my mind away, especially when I think that I'm a Patreon for people like Cameron and Hunter and Glenn and Todd and Chad, you know, amazing up there people, and then people are supporting me. It's crazy. So thank you to all of them. Somebody who is a Patreon and a massive supporter of me is the lovely Justin Lewis, so a massive thank you for always being there to encourage me. Alongside that, I would like to say a big thank you to David Green. He's I think he was my first ever patron actually, apart from my husband. And then I should say that the biggest thank you that I can give to anybody is my husband Steve and my daughter Felicity, because they are my biggest cheerleaders. And if I was working full-time doing something, I wouldn't have all the time to do this. I do work, I do freelance writing every day, which I'm able to do whilst my daughter's at school, but without their support I wouldn't be here doing this. So thank you guys, thank you to my lovely beautiful 10-year-old daughter who allows me to come and do these kind of things whilst she's busy doing her own kind of, she got a big ring light, professional YouTube ring light thing for Christmas, and I said, can Mummy borrow that to do her booktube? And she said no. So I have to sit in the office and rest my phone up against my laptop and hope that the light doesn't make me look too much like my ancestors who've been in the grave for years. Anyway, I would also therefore like to say that, did I say, oh yeah, David Green, that was it. He's been a big supporter of mine. And we met through submitting things over at Iron Fairy and Black Hair Press. That was a couple of my things that I've had published over there, and he invited me to an invite-only project called 13 Moons, which is Werewolf Story, which should be coming up soon. So thank you to David. So thank you to Joshua Marcella for being an amazing supporter and encouraging beta reading all my stuff, and he's always shouting out and supporting me, and he's just a lovely guy. That leads me on to Glenn Rolfe, who is my biggest influence and inspiration along with Hunter. They have both read my work, given me amazing feedback. Glenn obviously liked one of my stories so much he actually published it in his Alien Agenda sampler, which is still like one of the most crazy things that's ever happened to me, I think. So for most people that'd be like Stephen King, your favourite writer, or Joe Hill, or one of the big guys, reading one of your stories and then saying, can I publish it? That's how mind-blowing it was that Glenn had read this story and liked it so much that he wanted to publish it because he believed in me. Oh, that's just phenomenal, isn't it? And Hunter's helped me with a story as well. Hunter and Brian Morland both read a story which is currently my last story I think that I've got out for sub at the moment, to a pretty big thing, pretty big open call, which I basically don't stand a chance of getting, but that story is close to my heart and it will find a home somewhere. That's what you always have to remember, even when you get rejections. Don't worry about it, because that wasn't quite right for that person. It wasn't quite right. It didn't fit with the other stories already collected within it, but it will find a home somewhere. It might just need a little tweak. I had a story that I'd written set in America, and I gave it a little tweak and set it in England, and it was accepted for something else. Sometimes it just takes those little tweaks to find the right voice for that particular story, for it to fit with the others, and then it'll be there. So never give up, never mind rejections. Okay, then in with Hunter, I was going to then add all of the final guys. So Tim, Jason and Jack, thank you for accepting me into your community. Who would have thought that? Who would have thought that I could chat with the final guys? It's just crazy phenomenal. And sort of the final guys and Hunter's Patreon crew, we've got Daniel, we've got Steve Barnard, and we've got Paul. So thank you so much for accepting little old me into your crew, into your gang. It's just, you're all amazing and awesome, and you're all so supportive. When you read my things and you say that you like them and you give me that encouragement and that boost and confidence, you don't know how much it means. I'm still going. I've still got a massive list. Oh my god. Ross Jeffrey was the person who inspired me to make this video in the first place, and he is also phenomenal. He supports me. He's read a couple of my things and he said he couldn't wait to read some more, especially he likes my werewolf stuff. And he is just, he's just lovely. And I would add in Gemma Amore with that, because they both just live down the road about an hour away from me as well, and she is just gorgeous and beautiful and so talented, and I just absolutely love her as well. And I finally got some of her books for Christmas. Where are they? Gemma, where are you? Down here. So I'm going to be able to, I've only read short stories from Gemma so far, but I'm going to be able to say that I've read some more of her stuff, and I can't wait. Shane Keane from Ink Heist is just one of the kindest, most supportive people, and he's always sending me messages just to say, Jay, you're awesome. It's just, sometimes you wake up in the morning and you just think, it's another day, And then you get a message from Shane saying, don't forget you're fucking awesome. And you're like, oh my God, thank you. That's what I needed today. You've picked me up just by sending me that message. Thank you, Shane, for always doing things like that for me. Natalie Edwards, Nat Edwards, aka TC Parker, is someone else who just always, if I put, please come and sub to my channel, she's always like, support Jay because she's awesome. She's done beta reading for me. She's sent me like all of her books with no expectations, just I want to send you all my books. And of course I've then read Salt Blood and fell in love with her writing and her style, and she is just awesome, and I absolutely love you to death, Nat, so thank you. I'm talking to beta readers, I'm going to say your name wrong because I always do, and I apologise so much, but Villamay or Villacme, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, but you are awesome as well. Thank you for your beta reading that you did for me. You ripped my work to shreds. And it needed it. It needed a kick up the arse. It was the bones. I had written the bones and you gave me the pointers and the encouragement and the what the fuck are you talking about to put the flesh on it. And when that story is eventually finished, it's going to be so much better because of the help that you gave me. Beta readers that just say, this is great, are wonderful, but beta readers that say, it could be great if you do this, I think are invaluable. I would also like to say, I'm still going, 60 minutes, I'm still going. I'd like to say thank you to Cemetery Gates Media for giving me my first pro rate sale. When that payment came through, I was like, what? I got that for one story. Yeah, okay. I would like to say thank you to the authors that have sent me stuff this year with no expectations. They're just like, you're great, you do so much for the community, can I send you my stuff? And it sits on my bookshelf, and at some point I will read them. Maybe I have, maybe I will try to. So Tyler Jones, John Bassoff, Eric LaRocca, Michael Clark, Chris Sorensen, Duncan Swan, Wayne Fenlon, Holly Garcia, John McNee, Scott Moses, thank you for sending me your books. I will read them, I promise. I have got a buddy read with the wonderful Ben for the first, the Nightmare Room, the first in the Messy Man series. We're going to do that. I think I'm supposed to be reading Criterion by Tyler Jones with Rochelle at some point, one of my patrons, yeah. We will do it. Thank you to Grinning Skull Press, Flame Tree Press, Raw Dog Screaming Press and Horrific Tales Publishing for all of the things that you have sent me. And that reminds me, he's on my list here and I completely missed him out, which I apologise for. Graham Reynolds, thank you for being an unofficial mentor in so many ways. The only person on this list who I've ever actually met, because he lives down the road from me, but he's also amazing and he gave me so much help with so many of my stories. And I just want to say a massive thank you. If I have missed you off this list, and I might have done because that is how many people are on there, I'm sorry, it wasn't intentional. I'm rambling and I always ramble, but thank you to anybody, all the booktubers out there, all the reviewers out there, anybody that I have connected with this year. Thank you so much for all of your support. You have made 2020 bearable, and here's to a better year next year. Thank you all. Bye.